Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dissect one of the most influential books ever written. A work that's nearly 90 years old, yet its power has not diminished in the slightest. That book is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Many have read it, but many have also misunderstood it. They see it as a collection of communication hacks to get what you want. But that's merely scratching the surface. If you take only one thing away from this book, it shouldn't be a technique. It should be a fundamental shift in philosophy. And that is the most valuable lesson Carnegie left us. The secret to changing your external world lies in completely changing your internal world. More specifically, it's the revolution of shifting from a self-centered perspective to an other-centered one. In this video, we'll explore that transformation through 3 core shifts the book demands of every reader. These aren't just tips, they are pillars upon which you can rebuild the way you interact with the world. Part 1. The first transformation, from judgment to empathy. The most foundational principle, the very first chapter, and perhaps the hardest to practice in How to Win Friends and Influence People is, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. It sounds simple, but think about it. 99% of the time, what is our default reaction when something displeases us? We criticize. We criticize the driver who cut us off, the employee who made a mistake, even our spouse for some trivial matter. Carnegie argues this is not only futile but also incredibly dangerous. Why? Because it strikes at something people defend more fiercely than anything else, their pride. Carnegie tells the story of Two Gun Crowley, a notorious criminal. Even when cornered by police and facing certain death, he wrote a letter saying, "Under my coat is a weary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody any harm." He didn't blame himself. If a murderer doesn't accept blame, do you think the ordinary people we meet every day will readily accept our criticism? Criticism creates defensiveness. It forces people to justify their actions and, deep down, resent you for it. You might win the argument, but you will lose the goodwill. So, what's the solution? Carnegie proposes a profound shift. Instead of judging, try to understand. Abraham Lincoln is a perfect example. During the darkest days of the Civil War, General Meade disobeyed orders and let General Lee's army escape, prolonging the war. Lincoln was furious. He sat down and wrote a scathing letter to his general. But he never sent it. Lincoln stopped and asked himself, if I had been at Gettysburg, if I had seen the horrific bloodshed, would I have been so eager to attack? He put himself in General Meade's shoes. He practiced empathy, and that is the mark of a great soul. The first valuable lesson is this: true power doesn't come from pointing out another person's faults. It comes from the effort to understand why they act the way they do. Before you criticize someone, pause and ask yourself, in their situation, with their knowledge, with their emotions, would I have done differently? The answer will often humble you. Part 2. The second transformation, from coercion to inspiration. If not criticizing is the foundation, then this second transformation is the method for building strong relationships. It's the shift from trying to force people to do your will, to inspiring them to want to do it themselves. Carnegie laid out a golden rule: arouse in the other person an eager want. He used a simple, everyday image. Personally, I am very fond of strawberries and cream, but I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So when I went fishing, I didn't think about what I wanted. I thought about what the fish wanted. This is a mistake we make daily. We talk about what we want. You need to study hard because I want you to have a good future. You should buy this product because I need to make my sales quota. Carnegie says the only way to truly influence people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. But how do you arouse that want? The answer lies in another one of our deepest human needs: give honest and sincere appreciation. The great psychologist William James said, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. Not the wish, not the desire, but the craving. It's as powerful as physical hunger." Charles Schwab, one of the highest paid managers of his time, said his greatest asset was his ability to arouse enthusiasm, and the way he did it was through appreciation and encouragement. He told a story of entering a steel mill at the end of the day. He asked the day shift how many heats of steel they had made. They said, 6. Schwab took a piece of chalk and wrote a large 6 on the floor and left. When the night shift came in, They saw the number and asked what it meant. The next morning, Schwab returned. The 6 had been erased and replaced with a bigger 7. The day shift saw that and were determined not to be outdone. That evening, they left behind a giant 10. Soon, that mill became the most productive in the entire plant. What did Schwab do? He didn't yell or threaten. He simply aroused a spirit of healthy competition and the desire to excel. The valuable lesson here is this: people will work harder, more creatively, and more loyally for sincere appreciation than they ever will for fear of punishment. Stop trying to force things. Instead, look for the good in people, however small, and praise it honestly. Give them a fine reputation to live up to. That is how you inspire. Part 3. The third transformation, from self-importance to genuine interest. This final transformation is the glue that holds everything together and turns techniques into an art of living. It's the shift from focusing on yourself and trying to be interesting to being genuinely interested in other people. Carnegie made a profound statement: you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. The world is full of people trying to impress. They want to tell their story, to show off their achievements. As a result, a person who truly listens becomes incredibly rare and valuable. Being a good listener isn't just about being silent, it's an active process. It requires asking questions, encouraging others to talk about themselves and their accomplishments. Theodore Roosevelt was a master of this. It was said that whenever he had a visitor, Roosevelt would stay up late the night before, reading about whatever subject he knew his guest was most interested in. He did it not as a trick, but out of genuine curiosity and respect. And perhaps the simplest yet most powerful expression of interest is remembering a person's name. Carnegie emphasizes that a person's name is, to them, the sweetest and most important sound. When you remember and use someone's name, you are sending a subtle but powerful message: you are an individual, you matter, and I have made the effort to remember you. Napoleon III prided himself on remembering the name of every person he met. His secret: if he didn't hear it clearly, he'd ask again. If it was an unusual name, he'd ask for the spelling. He would repeat the name several times in conversation and try to associate it with the person's features. It took effort. It showed he cared. The valuable lesson here is this: charisma doesn't come from how well you talk about yourself. It comes from how intently you listen to others. In a noisy world where everyone is waiting for their turn to speak, be a listener. In a busy world where people are just faces in a crowd, be the one who remembers a name. Genuine interest in others is the simplest and most powerful magic. Conclusion. So, after all this, what is the single most valuable lesson from how to win friends and influence people? It's not a formula, but an invitation. An invitation to surrender the ego's greatest weapon, judgment. An invitation to replace coercion with appreciation. And an invitation to put curiosity about others above the obsession with oneself. Dale Carnegie doesn't teach us how to win social interactions. He teaches us that the only way to truly win is to make everyone around you feel like a winner, too. This book is a reminder that kindness is not weakness, empathy is not surrender, and genuine interest is the smartest investment you can ever make. Start today. Don't criticize, understand. Don't demand, inspire, and don't try to be interesting, be interested. That is the path not only to winning friends and influencing people, but to a more meaningful and happier life. Thank you for listening. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts on how to win friends in the comments below.